This video is brought to you by Goku tier Patreon member The Elementator Wars, also known to his buddies as Game Drifter 01, and he's dedicated this video to his friend and Eye for Death. More on that at the end of the video. If you'd like to help support the channel or dedicate a video to someone or something in your life, consider pledging using the link below. See you there. Baby Mao Mao! You can totally see why she'd be so naturally worried given his advanced age, bless her. These ladies remain so very lovely towards her, I love it. His tidying up sound effects there. So many cute added extra sound effects. This is cool, but I'm glad they didn't try and say she was gonna match up fingerprints, as that was really a 19th century kind of deal. 18th century for understanding they're unique, I believe. Now that is very clever to me, instead using the markings to determine who touched the bowl by how it was being held at the time. Goodness me, this is interesting. Figuring out that her own ladies in waiting are picking on her, switching her food and ensuring she's wearing clothing that clashes and makes her look bad. Gaining a better understanding of her position in life now her first husband has passed away and how it basically ruined her life. The whole thing is really messed up. It's sad for everyone. These art style changes do a true justice to the anime, adding great amounts of genuine comedy. They're so good. It was actually nice to see his true self for a moment. Up till now everything has been so calculated and perfect, really makes him seem more human. This girl totally has the best reactions, doesn't she? This sudden reveal, and it was to do with all of those hairpins they were giving her. I thought that it was signs of affection or gratitude or something. I swear she's nearly as cute as Chopper from One Piece. This little interaction made me chuckle for some reason. I think it was the voice actor's performance. Very clever of her to use her prior affiliation with that place and her friends she made over the years there to bargain this from him. She has completely cornered this poor lad. She's so smart. I don't know which is more funny, her calm reaction or their over-the-top one. There is more to the hairpins. I'm so very confused. These things are like mysteries wrapped in puzzles. Her winding him up really got to me. She really isn't like anyone else there. This other gorgeous look at the town from the first episode. I really and truly love the buildings. Really good CGI. Totally unexpected greeting of genuine shock and awe. I mean, at least there is some reason for it, but still, damn! Mentally going over the men she's met and if they'd be a good fit for her to send to the brothel. Take a win for her finally getting to go home after 10 long months.
Oh, おかえり。遅かったね。
Although I'll admit it's not quite the greeting I thought she'd get from him, it was nice to see him treat her in the same way and provide the same home she'd left back then. It's a brand new part of the series and it's another win for the best looking flowers in all of anime. Not being pulled all around the building on the spot. Talk about a sudden twist to kickstart episode 8, another case for her to solve. Let's friggin' go! Just as in the first quarter video, I really enjoy just simply seeing her at work, doing her thing, figuring stuff out, taking action. She's brilliant, really. Why you gotta make me suspicious all of a sudden, you sassy so-and-sos? I'll grant you it's a small win, but finding out how she got so good at what she does, clearly picked up on it from him or was taught it. Glad to see the origins.
これは何の毒だと思った?
Half the win is for seeing the last win being put into practice right away, and the other half was for how hyped she was to be called on there. Her old man is so smart he figured out part of the mystery that even she had missed. Bless him, he tried declining so much money for her, having saved 2 lives in that moment of panic. Glad she told him otherwise though, but it does speak volumes about him. I knew my sus levels were well justified back then! Some really smooth as butter looking animation on their fight right there! But also going first person like it's no big deal! Good twist there. He's painted as a character to feel sorry for, and then the full truth comes out, and it's actually quite shocking and reveals tactics likely used back then by scumbags. She's doing it again! She's going all Sherlock Holmes on us! I gotta say that really is very clever and actually makes perfect sense as well when you think about it. Kind of reminds me of the Ace Attorney games I used to play. Too long to show the whole thing, but wanted to drop a win for how clever it was for her to split the drink. Essentially drinking way less poison from the bottom as he drank the poisoned top. They really do breathe so much life into the city scenes. Glad I got to see it again after the first episode. It's so beautifully designed as well. Gone from Hunter x Hunter! Just another stunning looking angle of their house. Him being annoyed that she left without saying anything. So good. It's good how basically any pretense of normality goes out the window here because he's annoyed. I might be wrong, but the vibe I'm getting here is he's totally jealous right now. Interesting.
つまりギリでもらったものに俺は負けたんだ。俺もあげたはずなんだが、全く話は来なかったな。
He's absolutely jealous, right?
それをリハクってやつに払ったのか？
ええ、一夜の夢に喜んでおりました。
Ah, the misunderstandings are so good.
失礼します。
My god, I love the sound effect she adds like this. What a heavenly laugh she's got on her, goodness me.
あの日、笑い転げる玉葉妃から事の詳細を聞くのに苦労した。
The fact that we're told after the scene ended she was still laughing for a good long while, for some reason made that win even better.
いざ会いに行ってみれば、知らぬ男と里帰りしているなんて。
Made me feel a bit sorry for him here. For context, just prior, he says he completed all of his work super fast so he could then go and meet her, but then she'd left.
薬屋、本当に死因は酒だと思うか？
やっぱり聞いてきた。
And just like that, she has begun her next case.
宴席で飲まれていた酒の残りだ。
おお、酒。
How come her reactions are just the best though?
ここ最近の人士様は以前よりもずっと子供のように見えて仕方ない。
Character growth like this is good to my mind. It's not super in your face, it's more subtle as she solves a case whilst also thinking about how he's changed, so it's quite natural.
甘さとしょっぱさが混在している。
Nice art style change all of a sudden.
食事もほとんど甘味にするくらいに。
糖尿になりますね。
思い出話を現実に戻すな。
These kinds of interactions are the best to me, and like I said in the previous video, the style of art used really does aid in the comedy factor each time too.
しかし、酒瓶には乾いて粒が残るほどのたくさんの塩が含まれていた。飲んだ酒の量と溶け込んだ塩の量を考えれば、これが原因であってもおかしくはないでしょう。それを読む限り、おそらく光年様は塩味だけがわからなくなっていたかと。
I'll tell you what I loved about this. It's not poison every time. There was the clever use of poison in the last episode, but this one is different again. Killed by salt!
そしてずいぶん前に妻と子を流行り病で亡くした。それからは仕事一筋。
Man, talk about making a character who at the time seemed like just an old drunk become really sympathetic suddenly. They can have a win here for the rest of her thoughts. I'd show more, but they go on for a rather long time, but safe to say, she's all but figured out who caused the death.
ああ、小さい頃世話になった。
普通の青年のようだ。
This could be one of the first times that she in turn perhaps looks upon him differently, seeing another side to him as he is currently in mourning.
ああ、昨日のものとは違うが。バレないように飲めよ。
I'm not sure I'll ever grow bored of giving her wins for these reactions of hers.
溜め込まないうちに終わらせては。
真面目に仕事はしている。
どのような。
I mean, how can I skip past this lovely, but more so funny interaction between them and not give it a win?
酒は20歳になるまで禁止せよ。と。
She somehow made herself sound like a pig.
それ絶対に通さないでください。
私の一存では何もできない。
人士様。
Never seen her like this? So dependent on someone for something. It really was rather funny. Visually, I just thought that was stunning looking, really. A doctor so afraid of a corpse! So weird!
好奇心旺盛なお前のことだ。一度でも手を出したら墓荒らしくらいするだろう。
I can't believe her father had to make rules like this because if allowed to run wild, she'd do anything for the sake of learning new things.
壁にはしごはなく、傍らに登るための道具もなかったからです。
I personally just find it so clever how she can figure out that she must have had help because there's no way she could have gone up the wall by checking the area around it and the wall itself.
どうやって不要費が外壁に登ったのか疑問で、城壁を丹念に調べて回りました。
So clever to my mind to bring that case back into focus to help solve this one. I must admit, I hadn't even thought about how she got up there. I figured there was stairs or something, I guess.
這い上がるために何度も彫りを描いたのでしょう。死体の指先が赤く血に染まっていました。
Right away, it becomes dangerous, rising the tension for me, and also fills the scene with sadness that the poor woman went through that at her end.
何を考えている？
死ぬならどんな毒にしようかと。
死ぬ気か？
I thought that was a lovely, sweet, and genuine reaction of concern from him at that. Quite telling, really. The anime can have its first 2 Max Wins award for this section of the video for what is for me probably the best looking CGI I've ever witnessed in anime. What plays out is essentially here a kind of recap of events up to this point in terms of all of the cases she's taken part in, and the music was wonderful.
もし私を処刑する場合、毒殺にしていただけませんか？
なんでそうなる？
Yeah, where the hell did that come from all of a sudden? I hope that's not a look into the future there.
私が平民だからです。些細な失敗で簡単に吹き飛ぶ命です。
そんなことはしない。
I liked his reaction here too. He says it with all due seriousness and respect. He cannot imagine ever doing that, but I also understand her point. He may not have a choice if it happened. Such beautiful looking sights in this one.
ザクロ級フォンミン。
That sweeping shot looking real good. But also how this is yet another instance where an older case has been brought back around, because this was like from episode 5, I think.
美しい花もいつかはしおれる。高級の花は実を結ばねば意味がない。
I felt like this was quite the profound thing to say, and it was quite impactful when mixed with the image too.
ありがとう。余るくらいお菓子があるなんてお茶会っていいな。
I ain't ever gonna stop winning her lovely reactions!
和やかな会話の中で情報を引き出す玉葉様は穏やかそうに見えてやはり妃だ。
Even something as simple as a tea party, which on the surface seems very normal, is actually a process used by women to try and gain the upper hand over one another in some way.
他の侍女たちは明らかに主人に目がいってないな。だが今のところいじめをしているようには見えない。
See, the author could easily have made her be almost godlike in her intuition. Instead, she sees something here which may have gone against her previous thoughts from episode 6 and thinks about it.
お口に合うといいけど。
玉葉様。
あらら、アイラ、生姜湯は飲めるかしら。はい、大丈夫です。
Considering this is not her mistress by any means, it's really nice of her to take note of her reaction, plus theirs, and then find a way to get her something else to drink, whilst saying nothing.
残念ながら、いじめは間違いではなかったらしい。
And yes, whilst win number 267 stands, it seems she was spot on about the bullying mentioned back in the first quarter video.
話は終わってないんだが。
話していただけませんか？
Another thing mentioned during the previous video is how she can carry an anime with her incredible voice acting performances, and this right here reminded me of that. It is a static background, but it's most definitely still got some insanely high quality looking items in there.
本当に毒殺騒ぎの黒幕がいるのだろうか。やはり皆働き者だな。
Mine to be a very personal win, but I do like how she's going undercover, as it were, to try and find the culprit here. But I'd love it if one day she did it outside the palace again.
熟れた果実にしか反応しない帝は14という年齢を考えれば望ましいことだが。
Can I just take a second to say, thank God that information was actually told to us?
いい子にはご褒美をあげないとね。
遠慮します。
I absolutely cannot get enough of these reactions though. Someone needs to send help!
ガオシュン様。後で下剤持ってやる。
Peacefully looking outside like he hasn't a care in the world whilst what's going on. I haven't a clue what she's figured out, but from the flashback it certainly makes it seem like tons of hints were being dropped this episode, which is cool.
うちの次女に何をしているの？
She always seems so friendly. It was actually nice to see her like this, and it also lets us know how much she cares for her.
蜂蜜はお嫌いですか？
なんでわかるの？一時は命も危うかったと聞いたわ。 以来乳母たちにも食べるなと言われていて。
こうして外部のものを悪役に仕立て、自分たちだけが味方と思い込ませるのか。
Learning the full story there, but also how well it's displayed that these women have totally warped her mind and how easily it was done since she's young and impressionable. Sad, really.
アードーヒとの間に男児を一人設けている。生まれた時期は先帝と皇太后の子。
Clever how they aged both parties here. A lot of anime just make people look exactly the same even a decade earlier. I know the building scene is more important than this, but those flowers though!
何やってんだよ、親父。
That? Now that's an interesting twist of fate. Her father had some connection to the palace back in the day.
いつ引っ越されるのですか？
察しがいいのね。
大掃除は表向きの理由ですね。
Such an unexpectedly tense moment. Not something one comes to expect when watching this anime. But from the knife on display as she cuts the bread and the fake smiles, it's tense!
出産の場にいたのは私の父なので。
Super freaking tense!
その時ですね。アードーヒが子宮を失ったのは。その後、アードーヒの元に生まれた子は。
Damn man, just when I thought I couldn't feel any more sorry for her mistress, this happens. Really good pacing to learn about her now. In depth at the halfway point roughly too.
この間の毒を白い事件と同じだと思われていますが、それは違いますよね。
Oh, that face right there! Tense!
本当の死因はこれです。需要にいいと与えていた薬が赤子にとって毒になること。そしてアードーヒの子は生き絶える。
And the truth is revealed and she's been lying that whole time. Never saw it coming! That's really good!
消そうと考えた。その人物こそがリー・シュヒです。そのうちにあなたはリー・シュヒから赤子の頃に蜂蜜を食べて死にかけたと知らされる。あなたはリー・シュヒのスープに毒を入れた。
Yet another great twist. It was her who tried to do away with the girl back then in all to hide this secret. Like this woman is legit evil, to be honest, based on this so far anyway.
そんなものはありません。
何でもいいのよ。
Good example of showing and not telling right there, just seeing the blade in the background.
奪ってしまったのよ。アードー様が玉のように大切にしてきた赤子をこの手で。
What I thought was great about this was that it was clearly the first time she ever said these things out loud, and so she yelled them, finally freeing herself from the lies.
子は天の命に従ったのだ。
The reality there on display as, behind closed doors, she weeps for the loss of her son.
疲れた。
That is so adorable.
もしものために油紙を重ねて固定していたが、必要なくてよかった。
Glad to hear she didn't just go in there totally vulnerable and at least prepared for that to happen.
フォンミンの動機はお前の言った通りアードーヒのため四夫人の座にとどまれるようにするためだったそうだ。
二つの動機を一つにすれば、赤子の死の原因をアードーヒに知られないようにすることはできる。
Take one for the reveal of her plan mentioned in the prior scene to roll two crimes into one. Clearly she allowed for her to cover up the accidental death of her mistress's baby, which is fair.
一杯付き合わないか。
Such a cute and lovely reaction to booze though. Oh snap! I totally spaced and didn't notice that this was the main woman of the episode. I thought due to her laid back nature up there, she was just some woman I couldn't recall. Wow!
水の中は寒かっただろうな。
There really is some truly beautiful sights to behold in this one. Even if the mystery isn't exactly 100% solved, we find out that it's very likely the woman who jumped off of the wall also did so for her mistress, just not directly.
人士様、なぜここに？
それは俺の方が聞きたい。
Actually kind of sweet to see these two in this situation, even if it is one that's a touch cliche, it really didn't bother me.
話してください。
寒いからやだ。
However, this is in no way cliche and a nice follow-up to be honest.
人士様、
Aw, didn't see that coming.
いなくなってから、死んでからではなく、まるでまだ生きているようにも捉えられる言い方だ。二人がもし取り替えられていたとしたら、実にくだらない、バカバカしいくらいの妄想だ。
Wait, hold on! How would that even work? Could he be her son? What's going on?
その時、青年のような凛々しい妃の顔が母親の顔に見えた。
I just felt like that was a lovely moment because she had been like a mother to her in the past, and now that figure is leaving the palace for good.
好きでもない場所に引き止められたと気づいたとき、どのように受け取られよう。
I'm not 100% sure, but if I understand correctly, her new family, the one she was sold to, has business dealings with that woman's family who was recently executed, so she may have to be thrown out. Great plot twist if that's the case.
人士様、都合の良い駒ではなかったのですか？
What's clear from this scene is that that is clearly no longer the case for him, and it's all but confirmed that he now has feelings for her.
確実に売り飛ばされる。
Giving Mao Mao a very legitimate reason for wanting to stay in the palace and continue to earn money, given that she has debts from her visit back home earlier that still need paying. Some not running on the spot action that looks so good it had to be shown first and then talked over.
人士様、お話があります。
わかった。中で話そう。
What I enjoyed here was her using a tone of voice with him that she never has before. Heck, with anyone in the anime. Thus, we know how serious this actually is for her.
玉葉様の次女になってから、毒味もできるし、医局にも出入りできる。それなりに今の生活を気に入ってる。
I also found it very sweet to, for the first time, get an understanding that she's actually enjoying her life here now with the people who she has met and the work she is doing. Real nice half-rotating shot.
わかった。
それでは
金は弾もう。
Oh, that is a huge plot twist. Could it be because she's still talking from the point of view of being subservient to him, and he never felt she'll see him any different no matter what?
やはり引き止めればよかったのでは？
何も言うな。
His sadness being displayed via mushrooms growing out of his head just made me laugh.
後悔しても知らないわよ。
This fantastic reaction to her being fired by him.
道具として扱いたくなくて引き止めるのをやめたのだから。全くもって手間のかかる厄介な主人だ。
Yes, here we go. This basically confirms what I thought from win number 310. That's decent though, since it's certainly more involved and complicated than it seems on the surface. There's some absolutely gorgeous looking furniture in this room. These three shots as they leave the brothel and head to the location of the party looking simply stunning. I'm struggling to get over her voice acting performance on this series. What a fantastic way to do this song and this overall performance, just looking straight up magical with the effects added. You gotta hand it to them, they really did a fantastic job when animating the dancing scenes. Both during this episode and earlier during the garden tea party, really fluid stuff.
つまらないのか？失礼します。
一人にしてくれ。
人士様。
Ah, so good! They're both meeting up here of all places!
もしかしてお前。
このお方はどうにも人の低層を疑う性格らしい。
I can't help but win a statement like that. She does it so well and it is insanely funny too. I've never seen anything like that mentioned in an anime before. Look at how they did all of the background events taking place during their conversation. That looks so damn good!
言葉が足りないって言われないか？
よく言われます。
Without showing too much and avoiding trouble, it's pointed out that he misunderstood her intentions to stay whilst he thought he was helping her by letting her go.
少しくらいいいだろ？
ダメです。
減るもんじゃないだろ。
気力が減ります。
These exchanges are legit Konosuba levels of comedy for me. It's ending my spirit. Such a small thing, but at the same time super meaningful, also very touching, albeit no pun intended. Is it not the best, most realistic looking flowers you've ever seen though? Probably one of the best ways of doing a recap I've seen in ages, nothing super long-winded, just simple points to note from the previous 11 episodes. Stupidly good looking!
少し風に当たってくる。
気をつけるんだよ。
Might just be the calming, smooth sound of his voice, but this melted my heart. He just sounds so lovely and concerned for her with that. Is it just me? Nearly made me tear up. Those weather effects. A really beautiful recap of her life in the palace this time, but even better than that was a gorgeously done song that reminded me a lot of one of the ReZero EDs. Great stuff, man. Weird win, but the first time we see her go from the standard style of animation to the funny one in real time.
虫から生えた奇妙な草を持ったその男は
Two wins here. Firstly, it seems as though he's buying her out, hence the large sum of money being given to the old lady, so I'm very happy about that at the halfway point. Secondly, it's for Mau Mau's reaction to a new ingredient she can test and have fun with, bless her heart. So like I said at the start of the video, Goku tier Patreon member, the Elementaler Wars, aka Game Drifter 01, has chosen to dedicate this video to his closest friend of many years and eye for death. He's doing so because this lad has always helped to push him forwards, and truth be told, is one of the primary reasons our fantastic Patreon member can keep on going on with life. He's a true friend and a true brother, and people like that are so rare in this life that to see it, it's incredible to be honest. In addition, the Elementaler Wars wanted to also thank myself, purely for my content, he says. It's one of the things he really enjoys watching, and just like his good friend, keeps him ticking over, and I'll be honest, that's a beautiful sentiment, and I'm so happy to be included in this message to you all. Thanks to the Elementaler Wars for being a Patreon member for such a long time now, thank you to An Eye for Death for being a true friend to him, and thanks to you all for watching and listening. Keep in mind, you can dedicate your own video to anyone or anything in your life, literally anything you fancy, and or you can simply pledge to help keep the channel going. Consider checking it out in the description below, and I'll see you next time. Darth Weirdo, Fiji, Nick Wyndham, The Elementaler Wars, Christopher Willis, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Fancy Turtle, Kepan, Mini Masher, Marquez, Nozomi, Orkeeper, Otar Bananisi, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Brandon Kriya, Brian Bayard, Cameron, Christian Tawasa, Commander Cyrus, David Mayer Olmos, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Aaron Winters, Guru, James Tafoya, Jor Edvinson, Kevin Halston, Cumfroik, Kylie Welp, Luis Benito, Mr. Mansu, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Ruby Rose, Satoko Yari, Zionx 44, Sean, Starkip, The 100s, Tiger Lily Warrior, Ajoka, Alexander Schwartz, Ali 50, Amadillo, Brainless Ben, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Dante Soul, Dante's Face, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Devon, Dragon Defender, Iso, Francie, Garrett Vermish, Gibbs, Hooved Lowe's Ritter, Hunter Miranda, Isel Caldera, Jason Davies, John, Jaffa 6263, Kai Wolfspring, Kelnock, Kevin Nelter, Kevin 102, Knuckle Duster, Kai 158, Kyle Jones, Laxor, Laxus, Liam Gugati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Marvin, Matthew Blancett, Michael Lewis, Motivirum, Moudini, Mr. Fire Cool, Nathaniel Gregomosa, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, Novagown, 9028, Ollie the Mighty, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Oscar I. Lopez, Owen Halloran, Q-Flash, Chris Harris, Ryan DeVeries, Psychomi Aorum, Sarcastic Truth, Snowy, Stan, Storm 970, TRS, Thrasher 340, Will Sass, Willyman.